If you are an avid autograph collector, then you already know that you can't use just any pen for getting the signatures of your favorite celebrities. You have to use the best marker for autographs. For instance, you must never use a ballpoint pen as it is unreliable and could not write on most surfaces. You must get something like a felt tip pen for this purpose. However, not all felt tip markers are not that good for autographs. Continue reading to find out what sorts of markers you will need if you are collecting autographs and the type of object you want to be signed. There are many products available to choose from, each with different characteristics, benefits, and prices. To help you make an informed decision, I did extensive research, read tons of reviews of customers, and compiled a list of the best marker for autographs from reputable brands. After much research, I found these products much helpful for people like you. If you want to know about the price and other information, be sure to check my description. So without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Number 1. Avery Marks A Lot Permanent Markers. The Avery markers have been around for years, and their quality standards have not changed at all. They still make great writing implements. These large chisel-tipped markers are not an exception. Not only is this the best pen for autographing baseballs, but I use it for simple and fancy calligraphy as well. What I liked about Avery markers, in general, is that they have large pen bodies that allow them to hold a lot of ink. These larger markers work great whenever you have a large drawing project, like making a mural. You will discover that you have enough ink for an entire wall section in just one marker. Another great thing about these markers is that they can write on almost all surfaces, at least all the surfaces where I have tried them on. I've used these markers on cardstock, wood, plastic, leather, clay, glass, and porcelain. And so far, the markings are all still there. All the signatures in my autographed catcher's mitts are also still crisp. What I did not like about these markers is that the chisel tip is not as fine as I wanted it to be. Even when turned on its side, the line is still a bit too thick for the kinds of drawings that I liked. However, it is purely subjective, and may not even bother most folks. Number 2. Dyvicl Metallic Marker Pens. These markers come in a set of 10 colors with all of them looking great. I used to only use silver pens for getting dark items autographed, but thanks to these markers, I now like to mix them up whenever I can. These days, I gravitate more towards the bright blue metallic marker because it contrasts well on dark backgrounds. These markers are also a dream to use. The firm fiber tips apply the ink nicely on paper and other mediums. I sometimes use these to draw simple caricatures, and for calligraphy projects, and the lines were never uneven. I like the consistency of the ink flow, and how it applies just enough ink that it will not bleed through paper. Unfortunately, these are not permanent markers, so it is possible to wash them off even when dried. What I do to make them permanent is I spray a thin layer of clear coat on top of the autographs to protect them. This might seem like a hassle for most people, but I am willing to compromise just because I like the colors. Number 3. Mr. Pen Permanent Markers. At first glance, you would think that these markers are Sharpies. The reason is that they have almost the same designs, including the letterings on the body. Take a closer look though, and you will see that they are from Mr. Pen. Although these highly affordable markers look like knockoffs, I was surprised at how well they wrote. Yes, they might look like copies of Sharpies, but one thing is for sure, they do write like them. I have been using these markers for a while now, and they have been consistent so far. Although they are not the top markers by far, they still write incredibly well. Lines are always uniform and they do not leak at all. The only problem that I had with these markers is that of the 12 items in the pack, 3 were already dried. I managed to make them work by putting a bit of isopropyl alcohol inside the pens, but it would have been much better if I did not have to do it. Number 4. Emooqi Fabric Permanent Pen Markers. If you are searching for the best paint pen for autographs, then this one from Emooqi is worthwhile to try. It has a somewhat thick consistency that allows the fabric paint to settle on top of the fabric without bleeding too much. This results in crisp lines and very legible autographs. The markers don't bleed even when used on thinner fabrics, too. I also liked how long the colors stay on fabrics. Even after washing them a couple of times already, the shirts that I drew on using these markers still look nice. The edges of the lines blurred a bit, which is to be expected, but not by much. The colors also remain bright. I noticed that only certain colors seemed a bit washed out. Now, although I had no real issues with these markers regarding how they work, I do wish that they had more ink in them. I wanted to cover the front of a white shirt completely with a copy of a famous painting, but I had to go through around 3 sets, as there is not much ink in them. Number 5. Shuttle Art Permanent Markers. These markers look like Sharpies, but you can get them at a fraction of the cost. I was a bit skeptical at first when I first got them, but I became a believer quickly after using them. The Shuttle Art markers work just as well as other brands, but at a more affordable price. I often misplace my Sharpies, so having an entire box of cheaper alternatives is great. Just like the more expensive brands, like the Shuttle pens for autographs, these markers have quick drying inks. The ink dries up completely in just a couple of seconds after writing. It will not also smudge once dry, making it the best pen to sign a baseball. Now here is the kicker, the markers do not have quite as much ink in them as compared to the more expensive brands. I estimate that these have around 2/3 the amount of ink as that of a regular Sharpie. If you will be using them on an autograph run, then you better carry at least 2 or 3 just to be on the safe side. That's all from my end. I make helpful video daily, so do subscribe my channel and hit the bell notification. To get more information, or if you want to know product price, please do check my description. For any kind of problem, please comment below, so I can help you further. Life is short, so enjoy every bit of your life with our cool products, as it's going to make your life much easier. Thanks for watching, have a great day.